Thank you so much, Maggie, for joining me today. For those that haven't met Maggie before, she has just started recently this year, actually, with Uniti AI. So let the people know what it is that you've been doing, Maggie.
Yeah, hi, I'm Maggie Bode. I oversee sales at Uniti AI, and we're an enterprise AI platform for real estate operators. We operate in co-working, which is where we got our start, self-storage, manufactured housing, senior living. So we're across voice, SMS, email, chat, WhatsApp. So the goal for Unity is that you implement this platform, and what it does, it captures and converts real-time leads. It allows you to basically get your most scalable salesperson or your most scalable support person. So both from the sales and the support side.
What's your journey in PropTech been like, and how has that kind of progressed into Unity where you are now?
Yeah, nobody ever grows up saying like, I can't wait to be in self-storage. But I will say it is a really interesting industry. So I started in multifamily I worked in multifamily for about 4 years, and then started in self-storage about 4-ish years ago. And self-storage is just a fascinating industry. It's very small, but there is so much to know about it. And at Unity, we also work in manufactured housing and senior living. So just kind of seeing all of these industries across commercial real estate has been just really fascinating and exciting to learn about.
You've done your seed stage this year. I think that was earlier in March. You're growing quite exponentially at the moment, definitely into 2026. So we'll be cheering you guys on from the sideline. In terms of where you see the business going next, I mean, what is on the cards for 2026?
Yeah, I think our goal is certainly to see a lot of growth in self-storage. We've got some really good things brewing and some really successful partners that we're working with right now. And then manufactured housing is also an industry that we have some really great partners in as well. We're going to see a lot of success there. And then senior living is something that we'll keep in the forefront too. So I think we're really lucky to work with really great partners, like I've said, and some people that are looking to really push the boundaries of AI. AI is a scary tool. I think it lives as this like big scary umbrella in a lot of these commercial real estate industries, and it's an exciting thing to have somebody lean into it and really invest and like trust a partner like Unity to kind of guide them on their journey.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's exciting for us, because naturally it's our job to keep a pulse on PropTech and what's new in PropTech, who's growing. In terms of your experience, was AI part of your role there, or has this been like a new learning curve for you as well?
It's something that was on the forefront, I think, of the way that we work, right? AI has to be a piece of what we do in our day-to-day as it was introduced. But now it is the product. It's what we do. It's what we provide our partners. So it's everything. So I think if anybody makes any good choice, it's embrace all the pieces of AI. And even if your company is not an AI company.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I appreciate your experience in PropTech has varied. You've been on all the different asset types. I'm sure you've seen it from every end, where you may have sometimes been the only women in the room. Other times there's a powerhouse, especially in multifamily. We're seeing like a great uptick in the amount of female representation there. But we were chatting a little bit when I first told you that I do this web series, and you were essentially saying that sometimes having that is a bit more of a superpower. It's a tool that you can index on when you can find a strength in being a minority in this group. But generally speaking, what has your experience as a woman in PropTech been like up until this point?
Yeah, I think to your point, in multifamily, it's now not something that you think a lot about. I think self-storage was a little bit of a shock when you enter a room and you're like, oh, I'm one of how many women in here? Like I can count on one or two hands. But like I said, it can be really empowering. I think when you can show up just as strong as the boys, and I think a lot of times when you are one of a few women in a room, it does feel like the good old boys club, but play the game and like prove that you don't have to be a part of the good old boys club. You can be a leader. You can be just as smart, as sharp. And you can kind of get away with like being a little cheeky about it too, which I think is fun. And it's also just so fun to prove people wrong in a lot of cases. Like, being a woman in a field like this is a superpower.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like with all of the narrative, like there's a lot of noise sometimes on LinkedIn around should there be women only conferences and women only events? And yes, there may be a boys club, but what's important is to reiterate, we don't need our own club. We just want to feel sometimes a bit more represented in the club that we have. I'm not sure what you have planned for next year, but are you going to be on the conference circuit? Is there anywhere where anybody can come and say hi, but particularly anybody watching this that is also a woman in PropTech can come and introduce themselves and get to know a bit more about Unity?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be at the majority of self-storage and manufactured housing conferences, some senior living conferences as well. And we're New York based. So if you want to reach out and connect, would love it.
Amazing. Well, let's see what comes on the back of this conversation. I'm sure it's going to air early 2026, and you guys may have raced another round by then, and we'll be playing catch up. But I'm keen to see where you guys take it, and I appreciate your time today, Maggie.
Yeah, thank you so much.